Very excited to have my next guest join us. She just dropped her debut album called Dirty Blonde. It is Dasha.
Hi, how are you?
There you are in 2D.
Yeah. Crazy 2D here today with
You
you.
look you look quite well for
Thank you.
post album release party and shenanigans. How you doing?
Oh my God, yesterday I was genuinely so hungover. I can't even tell you. And I took meetings all day. My managers were in town from New York, and so we took like publisher meetings, label meetings. We're just like, doing the rounds.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the whole time I was like, oh God. So, but we're good now. We survived it.
Tell me what your thoughts were when you were going through the weekend as the album gets released. I can imagine as an artist, it's a relief, but then also maybe some nervousness too in terms of reception.
Yeah, honestly, like when it came out Thursday night at 9 p.m., because that's how Spotify works, midnight everywhere. I was freaking out a little bit because, whenever you put such a it's 17 songs, so it's a very big body of work. And that means there's a lot of minutes to overlook something, something I didn't catch, or like, what if this level's off or whatever. And I wasn't freaking out, but I was like, oh God, like you never know. And so, 9 o'clock came, popped some champagne, whatever. And then we went inside to my roommate's room, and my dad was there, my best friends were there, and we're like, okay, let's listen through. Let's do it. And so we listened through the whole album. And in that moment, I was genuinely so proud of myself because of all the work I'd put in and the product. It was perfect. And I was like, no way. And so I was stoked, honestly.
When you're in a group in a room with all your friends, especially family too, how honest are they with you? Because I feel like, yeah, they want to support you. Yes, they want to encourage you, but at the same time, are you looking, through your peripheral vision to see what they really are, are how they're taking it all in?
That's a great question. I mean, I feel like that's just the difference between like true friends and like weekday friends. How this is how I say it: weekday friends and weekend friends. And my weekday friends are the ones that were there with me, and those are the ones that they won't tell me bull. They want the best for me, and they want me to succeed. So they're not going to be like, oh my God, it was so good if it sucked. And I value that opinion so much because like my feelings aren't going to get hurt. I just don't want to put something shitty out on the internet, and so. Um, no, I genuinely asked them. Even after my show on Sunday, the album release show, I was like, "What was your thoughts? Like, what'd you think? Were the vocals too loud? Like, blah blah." And I just got honest reviews, and I was like, "Okay, cool, perfect." So, yeah,
That's awesome. I feel like,
yeah.
especially when you are in the scene, your friend group can change and you get a lot of yes
Oh
men.
God, yeah. I hate yes men. I can't do that. I will never be someone's yes man. Like, I don't want yes men around me. Like, there's enough of those on the internet. Like, we're good. I don't need those.
By the way, the artwork on this, I have to bring it up because I don't have a physical
Oh.
copy, but man,
Thanks. Thank
amazing.
you. I appreciate that. I took a lot of time. I creative directed all of the shoots and all the promo for the album, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely throw back to the old school. Are you a fan of
Right?
like the old vintage
Oh my God, yeah.
vibes, old Hollywood?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, the references for all the promo and like the visuals for the album, were like, have you seen like 90s Guess ads where there's just like sepia and just scratched up, but it's like kind of Western feeling a little bit, but also very 50s feeling. It's like a blend between like all these different times and like, but I just love the sepia and like the grit and just like how casual the shots were. Like you just like were walking into a scene instead of being like, oh, like here I am. It was like, no, no, part of a
Yeah,
scene. So
yeah.
that was the inspiration for that.
Let's take a song When I'm Naked. You're just like out
Hmm.
in front and just saying like, wait a minute, hold up here. You only want one thing, at least on the
Yeah.
surface.
Yeah, no, exactly. That is honestly one of my favorite songs on the album. It has my favorite line on the album. It's the pre-chorus and it goes, sometimes I fantasize about talking to you like a childhood friend. And I wrote that song with my friend Annie Schindel in this guy named Rasmus. He's like very European and adorable. We love him. But we're in the backyard of his house just on acoustic guitar, just like sitting by the pool and like we wrote the song and I'm really inspired by country and folk music. It's like where my roots came from. It's where I first started loving music. And I know with like my next project, definitely gonna be incorporating more of that into it. But When I'm Naked was like the first song that I wrote that I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like this is a lane that I could definitely go into because this is how I write all my songs. Is usually on acoustic guitar or on piano, just like stripped down. But I wanted to keep it like that for the album instead of producing it out because that could have been like a big pop record. But mm-mm. I wanted to be feel like a country raw acoustic situation, especially because of the lyric. It's like, tell me, do you only want me when I'm naked? And it's like such a vulnerable statement to make. The album concept, Dirty Blonde, it's a title that came to me. I thought it was gonna be a song title. And so it came to me in January 2021 when I was still in Nashville. And I was like, oh my God, I have to write a song called Dirty Blonde. Like that would be the biggest hit. Like that's so cool. So I took it into 7 different sessions and I tried to write a song called Dirty Blonde and nothing stuck. They all sucked. They were horrible songs. And I was like, why am I struggling so much to write this song? And then I realized, oh my God, it's not a song, it's my freaking album title. Like, duh. So I wrote a song called Dirty, and then I wrote a song called Blonde because I kind of separated the album in my head onto 2 sides. There's an A side and a B side. The A side's the dirty side, and the B side's the blonde side. And in the track list order, it's definitely mixed up, dirty blonde, like kind of random, but it all tells a story because you're not going to be just dirty and then just blonde and sensitive and sweet. Like no, like it goes through ranges when you live life. And I don't know, I thought that was a really cool way to separate it out. Like, am I feeling dirty today? Or am I feeling blonde today? And so when I write for the album, be like, let's write a blonde song today. And people like knew what that meant, and it was super cool. And that's where like the country references came into was on the blonde side for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So that kind of makes sense when you describe the album as a dark and light
exactly.
side of
Dark,
things.
light, seductive, innocent, screaming to crying, the falling in love to the breaking up. It's just like total opposition because that's what life is. Especially when you're 22 and you have no idea what you're doing. Like it's chaotic, it's insane. So I love it.
Is
I
there a
love it.
particular song that not only that you're so proud of, but just really excited about?
Yeah, You Said actually, the song called You Said on the album. That right now is my favorite one, I think, just because of the lyrics. I'm really, really proud of the lyrics I wrote. I wrote that with a Gifted, which is this really, really dope production duo in LA. And I just love that song. It's so real and raw, and it's just like it kind of just takes you out of your life for a moment, and it just says it. There's no metaphors. It just says it. Um, and one of my favorite lyrics in that song is, "If I didn't know better, and you said hold your breath, I would do it and probably dead, all because you said." And it's just like using someone as your literal Bible because you were just so infatuated with them. I wrote that about the first guy I ever fell in love with, and I was so young and had no idea what I was doing, but I thought he was like the greatest person on planet Earth. And I was like, how did I find my soulmate so fast? And of course, we had this huge crash and burn at the end, and it just like it wrecked. I've never been that sad in my entire life. I cried myself to sleep for about a month. I was so up with this guy. And looking back, I'm like, what the hell? Because I wrote this song like a year and a half after things ended with him. Like it was, You Said is just like me looking back, like, wow, what the is that? Like, and I like it because I know a lot of people go through that stuff where they're with someone or even like a friendship. The song could be about anything, and they're just so committed and so they adore this person, almost like they want to be them. They adore him so much that anything they says goes, and it's like a really scary place to be in if someone doesn't have your best interest in mind.
I'm so stoked for you. 17 songs is a lot to take in, and that's why I'm looking at my notes here.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but congratulations on this.
Thank you.
You are destined for things, all the
Appreciate that.
things, and I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Appreciate that.